If you enjoy truthful and heartfelt conversations to inspire you to become a better version of yourself, Empowering Stories will help you. Hello, Ashish. Good morning, good evening for you. How are you doing?
I am fine, Anna. Good afternoon to you too from India. Thank you so much for having me.
It's such a pleasure, Ashish. I met Ashish only last week on
Yeah.
LinkedIn. And the reason why I met him was because something caught my eye. And what caught my eye is that he's been working, supporting, and empowering women for 5 years. Apart from working at an NGO, but she's been supporting women and interviewing women. And I said, oh my God, that's my soulmate in India. Would he be kind enough to come to the program and tell us about this experience? And sure enough, yes. So,
Thank you so much. Thank you. It is my honor to be here. Thank you so much.
Ashish, would you like to share with our audience, our public, what you've been doing to empower women?
Yeah. So I'm basically from Delhi in India. And in 2014, I had come in contact with the women's website. So they were looking to, have people who can volunteer and provide content to them because websites run on content. And if there is no content, then there are no visitors. So I took up this opportunity in 2014, and slowly and steadily I kept, providing them interviews of women achievers. So one by one, I kept interviewing, and till last count, I have done around 300 interviews of women. So I
Wow.
did it from 2014 to 2019.
Yeah. Now, would you tell us something more, Ashish, about the empowering women? Your experience. I would like to know your experience. Number one, what took you there? Why do you think I'm going to empower women? I'm going to interview women. Why? Why do you
Yeah,
pick this
yeah,
topic?
yeah. That is a very interesting question because I have my whole life I have stayed in a girls' college all my life. My mother was a professor in a girls' college, so we stayed in the campus. I was in the campus till 2010 when she retired. So
Mm,
over the last 30 years, 35 years, I was there in the campus. So I had a chance to meet so many women and so many achievers. So I noticed that not even a single, women was average. So everybody was exceptional. And so I was very surprised because if you meet 10 people and 10 people, everybody is exceptional. So that is a very rare thing. So I thought that women have so much potential, and every women I meet is, exceptional in terms of academics, in terms of co-curriculum, in terms of sports. So I think, so that thing was inside me that, I must showcase the good work done by all these women. And my mother was a professor in the college for 45 years. So
wow.
she started at the age of 20, and she taught for next 45 years. So she retired at the age of 65. So I thought, there are so many good people out there, and we just know about, two, three, four, five big names in the world of women. So I thought maybe, a small way to, show the good work they are doing to people in general. And I've been very lucky to meet some extraordinary achievers, and from all fields, from finance, from entrepreneurship, from teaching, and so the list of 200, 300 interviews is very exhaustive. So I will definitely share a few links. I think the viewers would, like to have a look, and they would, maybe learn from their experiences and learn from them.
Yeah. So you saw all that potential and you saw all that action as well, because these women that you interviewed, they took action. They did
Absolutely.
take action and they got the results that they got because they acted. Mm, what would be a big difference between a man achiever and a woman achiever from your point of view?
Yeah, because basically, women have the skill of multitasking. Like if you take my example, if I come home, then, I just switch on TV, or if I'll do two, three things, that's it. But a lady, she can cook, she can take care of kids, she can teach children, she can go to the market, she can, shop for the household, she can do 10 other things all at the same time. So I think that is the skill women have got. And I think maybe all men need to learn from women this thing, because honestly very few men can multitask, but 100 out of 100 women can, do 10 things at a time and do all the 10 things perfectly. So I think that is a huge plus. And I
Yeah.
think it is a lesson for all of us to, learn from all the women.
Do you think men could do this if they put themselves to it? If they try to multitask, do you think that your brains are wired in the same way so that
Uh,
we could
I
do the
think
same
it is.
things?
Yeah, I think it is difficult, but I think that is a God's gift women have got. So, but I think men must always at least try to, do little things, or more than what they actually do. So I think that would that would that would be great. Yeah.
And why do you think that everybody knows about more successful men than women? Why are men more out there than women, in your opinion?
Because I think women have got so many additional responsibilities, and many women, they can't, sometimes they give priority to their family entirely. So I think even if they have talent, I think they would sacrifice it for the sake of the family and children. So I think maybe there is potential is there, but they just don't try to come out in the open and lead the way, because I think they are more concerned about other things like family, husband, kids, household. So I think that probably prevents them from reaching their pinnacle. But I think now times are changing, and you see so many women entrepreneurs, you see so many women on boards, and there is a clear cut logic that in all countries where they have more women on the boards of companies, so companies essentially they do better. If there are two companies, one with 100% male dominated board and the other with a diverse board with women in it, so research has proven that boards which have women, they normally and generally and in most likely cases they perform better. So I think it makes even more sense for companies to have women in their board of
Yeah.
directors. And most countries across the world are now realizing it, and they are grooming women to join the boards. And it makes economic sense for them also, because more the women, I think better it is for the company, for the shareholders, for the environment, for for everybody, I think. So this is my personal take.
Yeah. If you think of it, it makes sense, doesn't it? Not to hire a woman just because she's a woman, but because she has what the company needs. It's just that
Correct.
the point of view is the feminine point of view. And if we have in a board of directors, if we have both points of view, the
Mhm.
feminine approach and the masculine approach, that
Correct.
adds to the project. Otherwise, we're just limping away. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, it makes
Absolutely.
sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. And in fact, a few years back, the IMF also, they did a research that, getting more women in the workforce can increase the world GDP by God knows how many trillion dollars. I think it was $1 or $2 trillion. So I think that is the amount of impact which is, untapped. So I think we must get women into the workforce. We must get women, out in the out in the companies. So I think that would help create jobs, create employment, and for the general well-being for the country and for the planet as a whole.
Yeah, but as you said before, Ashish, because women at some point, or some of them at least, need to decide, will I go for my career or will I go for
Hmm.
family?
Correct.
Then there are only so many hours in the day. If I am a
Absolutely.
mother and I want to be with my
Hmm.
kids and I want to give them this nurturing and supportive environment, how am I going to
Hmm.
work? It would have to be less hours or something.
Hmm. Hmm.
Tell
So
us, tell us about your experience interviewing women, how they dealt with this.
yeah, because they also had so many problems like all women have, but they fought and they had their passion for their goal, and they wanted to achieve something. They wanted to leapfrog and achieve success, not just success but fame, and also to be an inspiration for all other women also, and for me also, for men also. So I think that is the most important thing, that you have to be and uh, be a role model for everybody. And we just can't live with the problems. If there is a problem, obviously we have to fight, and but we have to you know keep our eyes on the vision and on the goal which we have set for ourselves and our mind. So I think that is important. And once you decide on what you have to do, So I think all the problems, they are just in the mind. I think they can, everybody can work around the problems. So I think we have to have a absolutely convincingly, we have to firm up in the mind that yes, I have to do this, and I'm sure, the universe itself will, help you get there. So I think that is my personal take.
Yeah, would it be fair to say though that for a woman it's more difficult when if there's a household with husband and wife and children? In your opinion, would it be more difficult for a woman because it's like kids belong more to her, the household belongs more to her?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it is more difficult because women are perceived to, it is assumed that they will carry the responsibility of household, children, and husband. So it is a given. So obviously, it is little more difficult for the women, but I think they have the capability that, I think they can do whatever they want to. And this is what
So
I've seen in so many ladies I've interviewed.
yeah, but wouldn't it be helpful to have maybe change of mentality and for men to cope on and say, hold on, the household is also mine.
Correct, correct. So I think if men also contribute and try to help their female counterparts, their spouses, so I think that is the best thing that can happen. So I also try to do it in a small way, but I think there is much more I can do, honestly. So I think everybody should, contribute more.
I'm going to be a bit bad from this end because, and I want to point out something you said, which was men could also help.
Correct.
But if you think of helping is like that's your job, and I'm going to give you a little hand here and there. You see, but
Absolutely.
the answer is for men to own it. It's
Own
not
it.
that
Correct.
you men are going to help at home. You're going to take your part, and that's your part as well. It's not me, I help you, you help me. It's both of them do it.
Correct. 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 Absolutely. So
Maybe
I
we can
will.
start with the language. No, you
Yeah. Correct.
won't help
Correct.
your wife, you will do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it is a responsibility, equal responsibility. So it is basically not helping; it is, contributing together. I think that is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I just point this out, not to scold
Absolutely.
you or anything. It's just that it's so ingrained, Ashish.
Hmm.
It's ingrained in society. It's ingrained in men's minds. It's ingrained in women's minds.
Correct,
So it's like, yeah, the household is ours and the kids are ours, but we need to change the language first.
correct.
I think, at least
Absolutely,
to begin with, does it make sense?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we have to,
Yeah,
first get it in the mind, then into action. So
yeah.
that way, correct.
Yeah, and speak it not from the place of shouting, "Hey, the house is also yours," but from the
Hmm.
place of, "Honey, we own this place together. This is
Absolutely,
a company that we have here, and you
absolutely,
see, and staff members or part of the board is our kids as well. They would be part of the board, but this is a company. If we treated households as companies, maybe things would work a bit more balanced. Do you think?
correct. Because I think this managing a household itself is a huge, huge job. So I think we should take it as a job, and we should, together work to, solve all the problems that come with it, and together we should, own it up, and together we should, work on it. Yeah, I think that is absolutely right.
Yeah, yeah.
That is a
Work
good
the
suggestion.
male, female working together in peace and harmony throughout everything. Work, household, everything. That would make
Absolutely,
sense. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you work on this, brother. You're working on this big time.
Okay.
Mm, I would like to know if there was any common denominator all throughout the women that you interviewed. Something that you saw, oh my God, she's got it, and she's got it, and she's got it.
Yeah, so the common thing I observed was the determination, because
Mm,
if they had, problems, so they would have given up. So everybody had problems, but they had the determination to, fight and overcome these problems, and they have been hugely successful. So I think we should not give up, and problems will come, and you have to, just, get over them and get better of them, and keep just marching forward. You don't have to, change your vision. must have a vision and you must work towards that. I think that is one thing which I observe across all industries, across all the people who I have been very lucky to meet and interview. So I think that is the single most important thing is the determination. You must have determination, and you must imagine everything in the mind first, then you can achieve. So every day you must start that, boss, this is the thing I want to achieve. And if once it is in the mind, so I think it will be there in reality also.
Yeah, mindset, determination, and the why. In your opinion, what was the common why, or was there a common reason for all of them? Before you mentioned that they wanted the world to be a better place and they wanted to show the world that it could be done, but because you interview them one by one, what would be their
Correct.
why? I want to inspire my children, or I want to, I don't know, I want to be at the top of the ladder. Whatever it is, there's nothing wrong or right. It's just
Yeah,
one why.
because I have observed that most of them they were very comfortable in their current jobs, but they wanted to create employment. So I
Ah,
might be, working at a very comfortable salary, but they had a different vision. Instead of being an
yeah,
employee, they wanted to become an employer and help so many other people. And many of them were at very comfortable jobs, so they could have carried on for the rest of their life, no problem at all. But they left their cushy jobs and very well off jobs, and then they took a you know step into entrepreneurship. So
well,
which is a very bold move, and they were successful. So I think that is one thing which is very important, that you must know what you want to achieve. So had they been, if
yeah,
they might have just sat down and, I have a comfortable job, nothing to worry, so let life carry on like this only. But they left it and they achieved even more success in their entrepreneurial venture. So I think that is again very commendable thing.
therefore, we can conclude that it was about contribution. The reason why they took the
Yeah.
step of going to entrepreneurship was contribution,
Yeah, because and some
not
people.
personal gain. It was not about personal gain because they were happy where they were and they had enough money.
Correct, because I think that
Contribution.
personal gain, if personal gain comes after if you work with passion and don't care about personal gain, so personal gain will come at a later stage. But
Yeah,
initially, we just have to work towards our vision. What is our vision? So I have to create a company. I have to create jobs. I have to help so many people. So that at that time, you don't have to think about personal gains or personal whatever. But once you are on the path of what you have thought of yourself, then these things follow. So this is what I have observed.
wow, wow. So give first and receive afterwards.
Yeah, because this is my personal I have observed that
Your
throughout my
outtake.
life, that if you do something without expecting, and I think it comes
Yeah.
back more than what you expect.
Yeah,
So
like
I'm sure
your,
you would,
yeah,
like you would have observed. And I've been very lucky to and in 2016, one of the very senior corporate leader of the world, he recommended me for a women empowerment champion award. So I was never expecting that to happen, but it did. And I didn't I never approached him, or I didn't even know that somebody was recommending me. But
yeah,
these things, if you give back, I think it comes back in some way or the other, and in a bigger form. So I think that is my take on
yeah.
this.
Which is also an inspiration for other people. You can graciously receive an award and then say,
Correct.
"Hey, listen, I got this. I was not looking for this. I just got it."
Correct.
But others could be inspired. Oh my God, look what he's done. He just followed his call, his heart, did it for the sake of improving the world. And now he's being rewarded. And I can think of maybe I can do something like that. So it's very inspiring. Thank you so much for that, Ashish.
Correct. And even in my case, if let's say I have to meet XYZ, first in my mind, I ensure, I make sure that, I must get in touch with this person. So once I have it in my mind, and luckily something happens after 1 year, or maybe 6 months, or after maybe 2 years, so somehow I bang into that person at a event or at a seminar, and then, and I've seen it in my case more than a few times. So I think first is you have to, register in the mind that, this good thing, this thing I must do. And once you decide, I think the universe somehow or the other, they will, come together and help you, get there. So I think this is one very important message which I've experienced myself over the years.
That was one of the questions that I had in mind. How did he manage to get in contact with all these powerful women who I'm sure are very busy and he doesn't know them firsthand? How does he do that?
Yeah, so I will. First I research about the lady, and then I find out the email address from my research, and I just shoot a random mail that, ma'am, this is what I've done, and these are the interviews I've submitted. So I think you have done tremendous job, and you are doing great service. So I would be very happy to interview you in case you would like. So I just list down the sample interviews which I've submitted. So, and most of them, they get back with their feedback and suggestions, and it works like this only. And many of them I didn't even know beforehand, so I came to know them through this interview only.
Wow. And in general, what would be your success rate, so to speak? I mean, out of 1,000 women that you asked for an interview, how many came back to you saying yes?
Yeah, so this I did from 2014 to 2019. So I think the success rate would be, if I shoot out, to 10 people. So I think five would kind of revert, and two interviews would happen. So it is like this because they would also be very busy, and since I had a full-time job, so mostly the interviews
Yeah.
would be on mail and on phone. Sometimes the time zones and the time would not
Work.
materialize. It would clash. So that is how it is.
Wow. Very good success rate.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. And I would like to ask you, what do you gain personally, if you're okay to share it with us, by interviewing these women? How do you grow if you did? What knowledge did you master if you did? How's your life different by doing this? Whatever you want to say about all this.
Yeah, so I think all the one thing I learned is that you should follow your dream. So, like for example, in my case, I was in a corporate job all my life. So somehow I thought, I want to get into social service because my mind was too social connected to social service since a long time. So in 2014, I came in association with this website, and I was conducting interviews. And 2014, I was in my corporate job. So I was in a telecom company. So
Okay.
somehow, I thought that, maybe I want, this is not, corporate is not my field. I must, get into social service. So, and I had no experience in social service or corporate fundraising, or I didn't even know what is, community service and corporate social responsibility. But like I said, somehow things happened, and in 2016, I landed my first job in social sector, and it has been 4 years. For 4 years plus now that I've been in social sector, and I really honestly I did not have any experience also in social sector. So like I said, if you get it in the mind first, and then it translates into reality. So I think it is true in my case. I'm sure it is true in everybody's case also.
And the change from the corporate world into social services, do you think that it helped you become inspired to do that, and the steps you took by interviewing these women? Do you think
Yes,
there
yes,
was a
absolutely.
relationship there?
Yes, yes, because that was also for the betterment of the society, and social work also is for the betterment of the people who need help. So both ways, it is good for the society. And in my current job, if I go to the field and if I see the beneficiaries, how they are being benefited from the work I have done, so that gives a tremendous sense of fulfillment and happiness, that through my effort, through my little effort, you can see so many people getting meals and so many people smiling
Yeah.
faces. So I think that is the biggest happiness one can get. And it is very satisfying also to see that so many people are blessing you for this work you have done. I think that this emotion can't be described in words. So I think it is a great feeling to see how you can help people who need help.
Yeah, what I see as well by doing these interviews and by observing the world is that when talking to people who are following their call, and
Yeah.
of course everybody's going to find some issues and problems and mishappenings and stuff, there are always challenges, but when people follow their call, whatever it is, it could be feeding kids, it could be, I don't know, taking photographs in the desert, every person has their own call. When doing that, somehow the universe aligns and they just follow through. We all have to put the work, but things aligned and we just keep
Absolutely.
going. And that brings so much joy,
Absolutely. And I
doesn't
think
it?
nothing is impossible because once you have a good goal in mind, once your conscience is clear, so I think somehow or the other, the path is there and you just have to, go with the flow. So things keep
Yeah.
happening one after the other. And I think it works that way. Yeah,
Yeah, it's very fulfilling for us. We can influence or impact the life of many others. And we
absolutely.
can always start small time, just part time, a few hours here, a few hours there.
Correct.
Just always a way to do something, isn't it?
Absolutely right. Absolutely. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, yeah. When people want to reach you, Ashish, where do we send them to?
Yeah, I will. So you want me to? I will just mention my email address and the
Okay.
website links, and probably that you can share at the bottom of the interview. I think that would help.
Sure. Yes. Yes, we can
Yeah,
do that. So
yeah.
you
So I
put
will
me.
separately. Yeah, I will separately mail.
Yeah.
You all the links.
Yeah.
Then anybody who tries to contact me, I would be very happy to be in touch.
Excellent. So we'll put them down in the description of the video, and everybody can contact you
Correct.
so kindly. What else would you like to say? Now imagine that all the women and all the men in the world are in front of you listening to your words. What would be your message?
Yeah, my message would be that we must do something for others, and if we do that, it will come in, multiplied by maybe 10 times, it will come back to us in some way or the other. So I think everybody can help. So if my capacity is to give $1, so I think I can give $1. If my capacity is to give 1,000 rupees, so I can give 1,000 rupees. So I think each and everybody has the capacity to help. It may be small, it may be big, but I think we should not think that I don't have the money, I don't have the resources. But if you look at it, everybody on earth can help, at least one person. So if that happens, so I think we can eradicate poverty, we can eradicate all the problems from the face of this earth, because I think everybody has the
Yeah,
power to help, and if you can't help, at least you can listen and smile at the other people. So I think that is also
yeah,
very motivating and reassuring. So I think that
yeah.
is very important.
Yeah, we need nothing to help others because we can give them our attention. We can give
Correct.
them our attention, we can give them our love, we can give them a smile. We don't need to
Absolutely.
give them $100,000, we can give them a smile.
Correct, because if you give
Yeah.
somebody a smile, so that also is kind of, it is a donation in a way, because you are expressing gratitude, or you are thanking him, or you are maybe listening to him, to his problems. So I think that also is a donation to the other person. So because very few people they smile, because everybody is so worked up, they are so engrossed in their work, they don't have time to listen to anybody, to talk to anybody. And these days everybody is so busy. So I think even if you give somebody time, so I think that itself is a very good thing, because
Yeah,
nobody has the time these days.
yeah.
Everybody is running around. So I think we should you know relax a bit, and and help. Correct, because everybody is so stressful. If you call up somebody, they are running, they are driving, they are doing so many things at the same time. I think people need to relax and take it easy uh, at some point in time. So
That's very wise, I think, Ashish. That's so wise. Yes. By giving, we get the pleasure of receiving it as well. So
correct,
it's
and
it's just
and
goes through.
it is very good for your for your development as such, because if you help, you in the heart of hearts know that you are helping so many people. So I think that thing is that so if you know that you are doing good, so you will have good self esteem, you will have good you will feel good about yourself. So most people, they don't feel good about themselves. Oh, I
Yeah.
am doing nothing, I have done nothing in my life, I am doing nothing. So most people, they talk like this. But if you give something to people, then your self esteem in your eyes would increase. So I think that is a very good thing.
Yeah, you get very good returns by
Absolutely.
doing it. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Ashish, in the name of all the women in the world, receive a very big kiss. And
Thank
in
you.
the
Thank you. Thanks to you. Thank you.
thank you for what you're doing. Keep doing it. Thank you for being here. And also thank you for the inspiration that you're giving to all the men in the world. Thank you so much, Ashish.
Thank you so much.
I
Thank you.
love you.
Thank you. Same here. Thank you. Thank you.